I closed a $40,000 client to build something that is absolutely terrifying. And I'm looking at it right now. See, it's an AI that copies the brain of a real human. Every process, every decision, every piece of know-how locked inside someone's brain is all dumped into an AI tool that I'm custom building for a client. So if that employee ever were to leave, his brain stays. And here's a part that should make you sit up. This means that we will need fewer and fewer humans every single year. I'm a software engineer who quit a big tech job to build stuff like this for clients. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I built. The insider stories my old co-workers are telling me about what's really happening inside these big companies that are investing heavily into AI. And the one move that puts you on the right side of all this instead of getting replaced by AI and getting taken advantage of. So let me actually explain what I was paid for, because once this company gets their hands on it, you'll see where the job market is heading. My client was a roofing and insurance company, very old school. In fact, the entire business runs on a handful of experienced people who they pay crazy sums of money to so they don't ever leave the company. And these people keep the business going. They know how the entire roofing industry works. They know how quoting for roof work looks like. They know how insurance angles work. Everything that is stored inside their brain is what makes them valuable. But that's where the founder of the company, I won't say his name or the company's name, he told me, what do I do when these people quit? If this person right here were to leave the company, my company would not function. And that is alarming for anyone who's running a company. If that employee were to leave, his brain were to go with him, and that company would be back at square one, and they'll have to spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on training, hiring new talent, and seeing if they can be half of what that key person was. And this is where the idea of the second brain came about. What if when that employee leaves the company, you can take their brain, so even if their physical body is gone, all the information that was in their brain stays with the company. I'm not talking about maybe some projects or SOPs they have written or built. I'm talking their entire brain, all the information they ever known or ever amassed, all the documents they've ever created, absolutely everything end to end is stored within some sort of database that is queryable from other people in the company. So let's say, for example, you are a sales manager and you have years of sales experience, but you were to leave the company. If your brain stays, then the next sales manager can just copy exactly what you know from your brain that's still with the company. And the opportunity of a second brain, or some people might call it context OS, is insane. I mean, I'm getting paid $40,000 to do this for a company that's medium to large size, but there are companies that are way bigger, enterprise level, that are probably spending six figures for this. And you are someone who can build a second brain literally today if you wanted to. Now, how can you do it? We'll cover that in a bit. Now, the part that really alarms me about all this is that I used to work as a big tech software engineer at a very big company in New York City. You all know this. Guarantee you all have heard this company's name, but again, I can't say it because they're gonna flag me or whatever. But my old co-workers from this big tech company, they tell me all the time that all they do is use Claude Code now for all their tickets, all their projects, all their assignments. Their managers even expect them to be using Claude Code, and if they're not using Claude Code, they're doing something wrong. Can you believe that? We're in a time where if you're not using AI to do the work for you, you're getting penalized. In fact, one of my coworkers who now went to another company that's probably the biggest, actually is the biggest asset company in America. They own, I think, over $1 trillion in assets. Huge hedge fund. And again, you've all heard about this. They're actually global at this point. They are getting tracked on how many keystrokes they put into their computer. So basically the amount of times you're typing on the keyboard, and if you're typing an excessive amount, they're assuming that the engineer is manually coding and not using Claude Code. So in fact, they're getting penalized for manually coding, because in today's age, if you're manually coding, then that means you're not using AI efficiently. And this just doesn't apply to engineers. Obviously, I was engineers, my coworkers are also engineers, but some of my friends who are business analysts, the same thing's applying to them. They're getting tracked by how many keystrokes they're doing on the computer. They're expected to be talking directly to the AI for the AI to do all the heavy lifting. And if they are caught not using AI enough, they're replaced. So now when the manager tells you, hey, what I need you to do is I need to dump all your information using some sort of voice dictation tool to talk into this Notion database or inside this Obsidian vault, dump all your information, everything you know, all your emails, dump absolutely everything. If you don't do it, you're going to get penalized. But if you do it, then what's happening is all the information that's in your brain right here that makes you valuable, the company now has. So if they were to fire you tomorrow, nothing really matters to them, because they still have all the data and all the information you have in your brain. So why would they need your physical body when they can just have AI operate on that data and do all the work that you were doing anyways? Now here's another insider story, as you already heard one from my personal ex-coworkers, and now you've heard one from a big hedge fund. There's a product manager that I know who's slowly replacing the employees at his company at a management level, and eventually, and he doesn't know this yet, he's gonna replace himself. See, he's a product manager, meaning he's managing products at the company. What are definitions? He's a product manager, so he's managing products. No, what he's basically doing is he's in charge of the product's entire cycle, from development to be pushed to production, to making sure customers are receiving it well, the entire cycle end to end. Now, a lot of the processes in between require AI automation, or they require a lot of human effort, but he's slowly building out AI automations that replace the human effort that's needed for that process. This is extremely important because he is getting promoted very quickly inside this company, which is the 5th largest banking company in America, I believe, because of this success that he has as now what's called an AI product manager. And he's building AI solutions for his company internally, and he's saving his company thousands of hours every single month, which is insane. But because he's salary capped, he's not getting any financial bonus, but he's getting promoted. So I guess that's his pros and cons, but that's beside the point. The point is that he's replacing manual tasks that take human effort to do, which allows his team to do other things. But at a certain point, when you create enough automation inside of a company, what happens is that company no longer needs as many humans in that department to do the task. And for the humans that it plans on laying off, as long as they're able to retain the data of the human, as long as they're able to retain the workflows of the human, how the human operates, why the human is able to produce the way he or she does, they can let go of that person at any time because they have all the data, they have all the information, they have the brain. And slowly but surely, my friend will eventually build a product for his company internally that replaces himself, and that's when he will also probably get laid off. So here's a part that nobody at these companies wants you to figure out, because while you're slowly giving away all your information, all your knowledge to the company so they can replace you at any time, there's also a way where you can take advantage of this. See, the exact same AI that's replacing employees, you can point to the other direction. Instead of being the brain that gets copied, you become the person building the systems that are using the brain to operate on XYZ tasks. So you're the one delivering value instead of just giving value to the brain. And this is kind of what my friend is now doing as an AI product manager at his company, where he's constantly building more and more systems where even if the second brain that this company is developing gets very smart and scaling up and has a bunch of mini employee brains inside of it, he's built so many systems where they'll see him as a system architect who can use that information in the second brain and actually apply it for the company's use cases. Because there's no point of having all this information of all your employees and your ex-employees when you can't really act on it, right? And that's where system building will always be in demand, because for AI to be able to build systems at a high scale, it needs to advance a lot more. It's just not there yet. So you can stop being an employee a company can replace and start being the person who builds everything. And let me show you some examples. One of my mentees, Neymar, who I work with one-on-one for the last 3 months, he graduated from MIT, one of the best universities, if not the best university in the entire world for tech and computer science. This means that he could easily land a multiple six-figure job, probably $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year job. But instead of working 9 to 5, he built an app called Totsi, which now has over 51,000 followers on Instagram. It's a food scanner for kids, and it allows parents to check which foods and which nutrients, which toxins, to accurately judge whether they should buy that food for their child. In the first month of his app's launch, he made over $5,000. And this was his first app he's ever built. Now follow the math, because this is where it gets really fun. As a 12-month projection, if you're earning $5,000 a month, you're expected to make $60,000 a year. Now apps like this don't just generate revenue, they also sell for acquisition. For example, if you exit an app like that that's earning $5,000 a month, you're typically looking at a 3 to 10x multiple on annual revenue. So multiply that annual revenue that you have, which is 60 grand, by 3 to 10x. You're looking at $180,000 to $600,000 acquisition. In fact, one of my softwares got a $200,000 acquisition following this exact same principle. And see how he's not waiting for a company to look at how many keystrokes he has to see his AI coding? He's building an asset that is sellable. And he's not the only one. Another client slash mentee that I work with, Ben, is running an $11,000 a month SaaS. If you do the math on that, he's projected to make $121,000 a year, which at a 3 to 10x multiple is over $1 million on the high end. This means that he can literally walk out with $1 million buyout, potentially if he finds the right buyer. Now that's the difference. The employees whose brains I copied for $40,000 and built this system for my client, they don't own anything. They don't have any valuable assets. So if the company were to replace them, they're on their their butt, they can't do anything. Neymar and Ben, they own everything that they built. Yes, they may have used AI, and in fact, the same AI that I'm using to build a second brain, but they are the founders. They are the ones who are owning the asset, which is whatever product they built. When the company owns all your assets, you're just a cog in the wheel who's waiting to get brain dumped into a second brain and then replaced very quickly. And I know this because I'm literally building it right now. Now, this is the entire reason I started my coaching program, Agent Rise, where I've coached now 220 mentees across the entire world, where I help them build their own assets, their own AI tools, their own apps, and scale them to multiple 5-6 figures in revenue. Neymar and Ben are just 2 examples. See, this is where you get to choose which side you're on, but you actually have to choose. You can't just wait until you get replaced by your company's second brain. You have to act on the current market that we're in and be ahead of the AI tools, be ahead of the AI opportunities, and take advantage of everything that is out there in front of you. Build your assets now. Because at the end of the day, I'm getting paid $40,000 to help a roofing insurance company become the best in their entire industry. And of course, I took the project, and of course, I will do it. And I will save them costs. I will help them fire some of their employees. Because at the end of the day, for any business, why would you spend more than you have to? It just doesn't make sense. So now it's up to you to decide whether you want to give your brain to AI or use your brain to build valuable AI assets. If you want to see exactly how to start building your own AI asset, your own AI app today, solo, no team, step by step, watch this video next.